welcome to the stream. It's Friday, which means we are talking mental health. I'm just going to wait for people to turn up before we go into any deep detail. But essentially, today I've got notes. And today we are going to be talking. Of course, there's no sound. No sound at all? Okay, right, you had me worried then. Anyway, we have notes. I can't share them with you because I put them on my screen. But today we are going to be talking a little bit about Chrissy Tiegen and her miscarriage, and the bravery she's shown to actually share that with the world, and it resonated quite a lot with me, so we'll go into that. Am I allowed to say we'll have a little bit of fun with Donald Trump's COVID karma, just to lighten the mood a bit? There's that, because of course it's 2020, so nothing can ever be normal. Then on a personal level, I'm going to be talking about how I handle feedback, and always have handled feedback, and going through it that way. And also, I've had a week previous to this where I was quite low, and talking a little bit about what I do now to get through those, to get through those issues that I had. So yeah. So just before we start, we'll wait to see if any more people do jump on board. Any questions or anything people want to say, get them in now. We'll give it a couple of minutes just to see if people join. Otherwise, then I'll make a start on the actual stream itself. One day, I might sell that. Let's go. Ooh, there we go. Look, what if we turn? Might sell some t-shirts and cups. Look, I'm fully on brand. Look, fully on brand today. So I wait. Steve, Stu, how are you both doing? Are you good? Have we had a good week? Any particular reason, or would you rather not share, Steve? You know, or is it just, all right, just one of those days? Yeah, they're the worst. They are definitely the worst when you can't put a finger on why. That's kind of what hopefully we'll get to that towards the end of the stream. That's the issue I had last week. So you're having a bad week, but we cheer you up a bit. Good to know. I think quite a lot of people have been having a bad week actually, which doesn't help things. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Sorry, this is really getting on my nerves. I know it's nothing major, but I'm going to do that. And then we're going to take that and we're going to move that over to there. There we go. Sorry, that was getting on my nerves. That was really getting on my nerves. That's because my chin was going below, and that really freaked me out. And look now, look, I can't sit still. That's an issue. Anyway, hi Crip, good to see you here as well. What's up, bud? For Stu, for me, it's the local lockdown has pinned me in. It's all around, so second wave stuff mainly. Yeah, Has Liverpool actually, obviously I know you're not Liverpool, but has that actually been locked down? Because we're due to go up in November for the kids' birthdays. And I don't know what's happening with that. Hello, Crit. Right, okay. Have they said sort of like generally how long they're expecting that to be, or is it just indefinite at the moment? I say yeah, because we're due to go up. What is it? The weekend? I think it's the 20th of November. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know there's a lot sort of like moving towards sort of like the wheel and that, and there was I know there was talk of lockdowns there, and when we go, we're staying in Liverpool, so yeah, no, so I don't know what's happening. Our trip up in November could be completely ruined, which was going to be a bit of house hunting. But there you go. So anyway, let's get started. If anyone ever if at any point during any of this, anyone wants to jump in and ask a question or give an opinion, please feel free to do so. So, first thing I want to touch on is the Chrissy Tiegen miscarriage and the reaction to that from other people. It's for her. It's horrid. Her and John Legend. It's the most horrible time. I remember we had issues with Lucas before he was born. We thought he might have been an ectopic pregnancy. Thankfully, he wasn't, and he was born absolutely fine. And then 5, 6 years later, 6, 7 years later, I think it was, we attempted for a second child, and health problems meant we miscarried, and that was devastating. We just let people know. We was heading to 12 weeks. We was really excited. We just let people know that we're having another baby. We're having another baby, and then went for a scan and was told not happening. It's not going to happen. What hit me really hard then was obviously the team who like wasn't the midwife, but basically the doctors in charge have to be really cold with it. They can't be too emotionally involved at any point. Thanks, Stu. No, it is horrible, but again, it's why I think it's important to talk about, and we'll come to that. But yeah, we tell people. I remember sort of like trying to keep it together. I'm the man. I've got to keep it together. It is upsetting, and I remember calling my mum, and I told my mum about it, and I felt like I'd let her down, or I'd let everyone down. That we'd miscarried our child. It was only 12 weeks. I mean, I know it sounds harsh to say it's only 12 weeks, but at the time, it's not even a baby. It's that. But I just burst into tears. I said to my mum, like, "Can you let Nan know? Because I can't cope telling people." And it was pretty much kept quiet. We told everyone, and we got the sympathy that you do, and that was all fine. I'm not a big. I don't know how to cope with sympathy, but we was given all the sympathy, and we kind of brushed it off. Like, oh yeah, it happens, and we'll work through it. Truthfully, it destroyed us for months. Then we had a second child possible, and that again was an accident. That wasn't meant to happen, and that I think we got to 6 weeks and got told there's no sign of life. We didn't tell anyone that time. We just dealt with it. We kept it so quiet. And then we got to Edith, and neither of us thought. We found out Lorraine was pregnant. Neither of us thought it was going to happen. So neither of us were really emotionally invested in this one, in this pregnancy, for the first few weeks, got to 12 weeks, had the scan, and everything was fine. Absolutely brilliant. Lorraine let herself start to believe that, we're going to have a child, but I kind of went along with it. It's like, yeah, no, it is good. I'm glad we've got past this milestone. And then I remember Lucas had his first ever nationals tournament for ice hockey. We was up there, and it was a great weekend for him. I've spoken about it before. He scored the opening goal of the tournament. He scored the game-winning goal for the semi-final, got player of the game in that semi-final, and then scored the game-winning goal in the shootout to win the championship for his team. And it was an amazing weekend. But after the semi-final, we had to dash off because during the celebrations, Lo started to bleed quite heavily. And we just both knew. We just went, well, that's that. That's that. We can't, we let one of the other parents know, look, can you take Lucas, help Lucas here, enjoy the rest of the day. We've got to go to hospital. We think we've just lost the baby. And then we spent most of that Saturday in the hospital in Sheffield, and expecting the worst news. Then they'd done everything. Just turned out it was a regular bleed. Didn't know there was such a thing, and we went back. They gave us a scan. They done their scan anyway. We said, look, please, we explained what my son was doing, and that he'd be really made up to see that, a picture of what his baby brother or sister's going to be. And so they gave us the little scan picture. We gave it to Lucas, and he was so happy. It made his weekend, I think, more than anything else that happened. But from that point, we had no more complications. But until Edith had come out and I was holding her, I could never let myself get excited. I could never enjoy the pregnancy, because at every stage I was thinking, it's going to go wrong. Something's going to go wrong. We've had 2 go wrong already, so something is going to go wrong. And what made it worse was that Edith was due the day after Lucas's birthday. She was actually due on Lucas's birthday. Luckily, she came 2 days later. It was a good thing. But partly was excited because he was really like, oh, I'd love a baby. Because at the time, he knew what she was going to be. Not a monster. We knew she was going to be a girl. We didn't realise she was going to be like the second incarnation of the devil. But so he was really excited. He really wanted a sister for his birthday and was happy that she was going to be born on his birthday. I didn't want that because I was still confident. I still believed that something was going to go wrong, that we was going to have a stillbirth or something wasn't going to happen. So until she cried and I had her in my arms, I couldn't get emotionally invested. And it was only when she was born that I then believed and I got invested in her. But that was brings me around to sort of like what Chrissy Tiegen has done and why there's a bravery around all this. We suffered in silence. At times when we should have been excited, we couldn't. We suffered in silence. We just got through it. We couldn't get a support network, really, because we didn't know how to handle it. So when people go, no, you must be really excited, I'm like, yeah, we're really excited, it's great, yeah, well, yeah, wonderful. Just in case, we might lose another baby, but we got on with it. But suffering in silence is the worst thing you can do. So Chrissy Tiegen, and this is why she's really brave. I don't use the term brave too often, but this is why she is really, really brave. She has been targeted before on social media for speaking out about things and had some quite horrible abuse aimed at her. So she's got to combat that. She's quite savvy when it comes to social media. Again, I'm not a fan of Chrissy Tiegen. Not that I don't like her. I love her personality and things like that. But I don't really know what she's in or what she does. I'm not a fan of any of that stuff. The same with John Legend. I don't think he's a musician as far as I'm aware, but I'm not really a fan of his music. Seems like a really good guy, but I don't know enough. But for her to come out and do this, she knew that she would get some backlash on it. For her to have the strength to still push ahead and talk about it in an honest way, is brilliant because it's then raised the question of should this be taboo. She's had the abuse, people go, whoa, she's using the death of her child for attention seeking, and she's attention seeking, and she should just go and suffer in silence. And no, she's done absolutely brilliantly here. Gadders 75, thanks for sharing that. We went through something similar 11 years ago. Yeah, and it's horrible. And it seems to be as well, and this is really, really tough. The earlier that miscarriage in the birth, the more it kind of gets hand waved away. And again, I get it, because if you find out you're pregnant and then a week later it's not going to happen, that's a seed, essentially. So it's kind of, it wasn't anything. But the further it gets, the more emotionally invested, I suppose, you get. And sorry, I'll cover that tech. Yeah, but the first one hit us harder than anything, because you've had a successful pregnancy and you go, yeah, I can't wait for the next one. We're actually really excited for the next one, and just have that taken away. Your heart gets ripped out. Your heart gets absolutely ripped out. That again, Stu. With your wife, she lost 3, but yeah, it's horrible. I don't think you ever get over it. But again, I think it, depending on what stage she was, is how invested you are, and things like that as well. But you don't get over it. You just don't. Hence, we said we couldn't celebrate Edith until she was actually with us. And that's not with counting finding out that post-birth, Lo almost died as well. And I don't talk about this much now, because it's not fair on her, and it's more painful for her. But she had tears from giving birth, and she had to go up to have it stitched. And they asked her, "Are you allergic to any penicillin?" She wasn't. So they gave her the penicillin, and she had a really, really, really bad reaction, to the point where she nearly died on the operating table. I was completely naive to all of this, completely naive to sorry, not naive, I wasn't aware of any of it. Sorry, I was sat there with Edith. Half an hour passed, an hour passed, and then I started to wonder, well, what's going on? She's up there for a long time. My mum's just turned up, and she can't get here. She can't get here now, and she can't come and see the baby. But I just got to spend time with Edith and bond for longer than most fathers get to. Lo came back down and they explained what happened. I had to keep that bottled up. I was devastated. I just wanted to cry there and then. The thought of potentially having to bring up 2 children on my own and lose the love of my life was horrid. So even when Edith was born, I couldn't overly celebrate, because I had that in the back of my head. What how am I going to be a single father? I can't do that. I'm not. Am I cut out to do that? And it was just the worst feeling ever. So we didn't even get to enjoy that. So it gathers, we lost our first at 38 weeks, worst thing ever. We had our now 10-year-old son a year later, but couldn't enjoy that pregnancy until he was with us. Yeah, 38 weeks is horrid, because. So I'm devastated for you. I really, really, really am. I am devastated to hear that, because 38 weeks that's a baby. People have their babies at 38 weeks. They have it earlier than that, and they're healthy. And sorry for saying it like that. I hope that's not coming across as horrible or anything like that, Gadders. But you've prepared everything. You've likely got the room ready. You've chosen name. If you are religious, you probably looked at who the godparents are gonna be. Everyone's getting ready to, and then nothing. I'm glad we never got that far, because I don't know how you can recover from that. And the feeling you described there, but you couldn't enjoy pregnancy until your son was with you. It's exactly how we was with Edith. It couldn't be enjoyed until we had her, and it's horrible. So I mean, what's your thoughts then on Chrissy Tiegen sharing her miscarriage with the wider world? What are your thoughts on that? having been through it to that degree as well. I'm saying my point of view is I think she's really brave, and it's great that she's doing this, because it stops it being a taboo subject. But it might not be the same for others who have been through that. They might, I don't know if some people look at it as maybe diminishing what the pain is, or anything like that. My coffee's gone cold as well. I'm not forgetting, actually, just while I wait to see if for any replies. John Legend as well. He's put up just the one tweet so far. Yeah, it does. Breaks all the taboos. I'm with you there, Stu. But yeah, John Legend, he's put up the one tweet just saying "Love you, Jack" with the hearts, and then quoting Chrissy Teigen's tweets. And I still think it's. I always hate saying about this from a male point of view, because I don't ever want to come across as though I'm diminishing what happens in the woman's role with all this, or even like the movement that we need to support women. I'm not one of those guys. But what about men? What about men? Oh, that's sexist. What about? I'm not one of those. But when you're a man and there's a miscarriage, you are expected to be the strong one. You've not gone through it physically. Is one of those things that is said. You've not gone through it physically. You've just got to be the rock for that person. So you have to suffer in silence. And that's hard, because the mother is allowed to break down. She's allowed to get upset. She's allowed to do crazy things on the back of it, because she's gone through it. You've got to be the rock. You've got to show that you're there for them, and you can't have that emotion, especially publicly. You can't, and I find that very, very hard to cope with on a personal level. I wanted just to say, look, I'm broken. This has hurt me so much. I can't cope. I need help, but I couldn't do that, because again, the way mental health is handled in the world, in the Western world especially, is don't talk about it, don't share your problems with others. Actually, we might say we want you to, but we don't actually want you to share your problems. And that's in the level of miscarriage, that's what becomes really difficult. I had to turn myself off. I had to become distant. I know there was comments made about me with the pregnancy with Edith. I just didn't seem bothered, and truth was, I wasn't. I couldn't be bothered until it was time. So there was lots of things like, what do you need this? You need that? I was like, I don't know, maybe do we? And it seemed like I didn't care, but that's because I cared too much. I never wanted to be a father. Never wanted to be a father when I was younger, but now it's the one thing I know I'm good at. I'm not good at much, but I'm good at that. I'm good at being a dad. And I'm glad I'm a father, but I never wanted to be a father. But having that taken away from you for when that happens for the first time, it is gut-wrenching, and you have to suppress it. Men not getting upset, to be honest, I think it's a subject we don't get to hear about much. Women are often treated as failures after losing a child, so it's all kept very secret. Yeah, it is. I don't know the ins and outs of this as such, but I know in some countries it's pretty much is illegal to have a miscarriage, which is just ridiculous. And I believe there's someone who's her views going into I believe Congress in America. One of her views is that not only abortion but miscarriage should be labelled like a form of murder, and it's I can't get my head around that line of thinking. But there are people out there. No one is a failure for a miscarriage. No one is a failure for a miscarriage, because it does happen for any number of reasons. You could go down to most obvious reasons of someone, maybe they're an addict, they're a drug addict, or an alcoholic, or they smoke constantly and stuff like that, and that can cause it. Any numerous health problems that aren't someone's own fault could cause it. Sometimes it just happens. It just happens. One of when we lost the first one, Lo had a massive ulcer that massively ballooned on her, and that was partly the cause, and that was mismanaged and things like that. So there are so many reasons, and yeah, there's no failure in losing a child, no failure whatsoever. But yeah, men not getting upset. I can't believe we live in a world where toxic masculinity is still so high that we still look down on men who cry. It is still seen as a weakness. Yet we accept it in certain things. You look back and you look at in sport, Stuart Pearce missing a penalty, and then years later Gareth Southgate missing a penalty for England, and they cry, and they're going, oh, look at them, bless them, blah, it's all good. They care about their country, so it's okay to cry because they missed a penalty. But a man breaking down because he's having a shit day, that's weak. That's weak, because you've had a really shit day or a shit week and you just can't cope with it and you just break down. So you have to do it in private because that's weak. You open up to someone else. No, that's weak. It's tough. But so yeah, Chrissy Tiegen, absolutely a hero, brave as anything. John Legend, being everything he does, doing everything he does. He's doing what he does for her. From what I understand, they are a true partnership, and they live for each other and they live for their kids. Still couldn't tell you what music he does or what she does as a career, but from what I know of what I've seen of them on social media, they are absolute rocks for each other, and they will get through this. This will be the hardest thing, and I hope that the love they get sent via social media and everyone else has hello Cosmospec, thank you for joining again, you was here last week. I hope that love they get outweighs the hate they get, because it is so important that this subject and any mental health subject doesn't just get hidden away anymore. We need to be able to speak about it. But yeah, there's that. I don't. If anyone's got anything to say more about it, please do. But I don't want to just repeat myself, so I'm going to move on to slightly lighter subject, and one that got me thinking this morning when I woke up. Donald Trump has COVID. Yeah. I can't help but see the funny side of that, if, of course, it's not just a ploy to gain some sympathy votes. I don't know. It may be hypocritical of me to... Yeah, can open worms everywhere, Steve, totally. It might be hypocritical of me to go, the way they've treated this, they've not treated it with the respect it deserves, and that, they're mocking people who have had it, and blah, 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 blah. But, Karma, oh my God, Karma, where have you been? Because if he has got it, then hopefully, for America's sake, I hope him having it has more of an effect than Boris Johnson having it did. That they actually do something about it. But yeah, this is where I am with you, Steve. If this is a ploy or political move, I know exactly why he's doing it, because he was mocked badly for that recent car crash of a debate. Biden was not great in it either, but he was mocked. He's being told off by a moderator like a naughty school child because he is a petulant child. So I do wonder whether this is to avoid having to do a campaign trail, because he knows he's losing. And yeah, there's part of me that goes, I think this is all a ploy. But at the same time, we've seen Twitter at its best. on all of this. It's gone back to old Twitter. It's just been hilarious to see it all this morning. Now, I don't wish death on anyone because I think that's a vile thing to do. However, when you've got someone who has allowed the death of over 200,000 citizens in his own country and has actively made decisions that have caused those deaths, then sod it. I'm not going to wish it, but if he dies, I'm not going to be shedding a tear. I'm not going to be shedding a tear at all. The only thing I've got to get, if he does die in the next 20 days or before the elections start, what actually happens to that election? So does Mike Pence step in and he has to then campaign in the time frame that's left? Does the election get put back so Pence can campaign properly? Or does it go as it is and just is? Or does Biden run unopposed? What actually happens? This is all, I don't think he's going to die because I think it's all bullshit. Because Trump, he got announced this morning UK time, I think. So, this is good for Americans, I think. Not speaking politically, I'm just speaking for people in life. Yeah. America can only improve once he's gone, one way or another, whether it's he loses the presidency, whether he passes away or whatever. It's only going to improve that country because he has destroyed it. Now, I think Obama was a great president. I don't think he was perfect. I don't think anyone's perfect. He did make mistakes. But he set in place a lot of things that were good for the American people, and that's been undone nigh on instantly. So, Trump being gone can only benefit that country. It can only benefit the world, in all fairness, because hopefully we get America back into all the different organisations that deal with climate change and, you know, World Health and all things like that. We get them back on board properly. So there is that side of it as well. So I think him being gone helps the world greatly. But yeah, it's I did chuckle today reading through some of the Twitter things. My favourite one was taking a clip from the debate where he mocks Joe Biden for having masks on all the time, and then cuts to the "It's Always Sunny" music. That's Twitter at its best. That really is. Sorry, not much to say on that. Just that I don't feel guilty actually about having a reaction of laughter to it, and I don't know if I should feel guilty or hypocritical. But when someone has been like he has with regards to all this, then sod it, I don't care. I just don't care. I can't bring myself to feel gutted for him. I feel for Melania. Don't get me wrong. I actually feel sorry for Melania Trump. But I felt sorry for her for quite a long time. It's clear she's not happy. And it's clear she doesn't share his views, as evidenced by some recently dug up recordings from CNN. So, you know, I do feel for her. She seems like she's actually a genuinely decent person who is stuck in a situation she doesn't want to be in. But that's for another time. So, moving on. Done another video recently where I talk about my ADHD. And look, this is how unprepared I am. I'm just going to pop that into the chat. If you bear with me. Let me just get that. There we go. So, I've done this video recently. Talking about my ADHD and how it affects my thought process and my conversations. And I asked for feedback from people who I respect and like. And I got my feedback, all fair feedback, absolutely fair feedback. And I've taken it all on board. So I'm going to do that until that freaks everyone out. I'm just going to do that constantly. I'm not going to try. No, I can't do it. I'm going to blink. Anyway, I took the feedback on board. I've got notes here, which I didn't have last week. And I love getting feedback, but I love getting critical feedback or criticism, even negative feedback. I like that. I can jump off that. What I struggle with feedback wise, if someone goes, yeah, do you know what, that's good, really enjoyed it, I like, yeah, what's your game? Why are you saying you enjoy this? What's there to enjoy? What are you trying to get at me? You trying to get me to drop my guard? I don't make good stuff, so why do you want to say I've done good stuff? And yeah, I really struggle with that kind of feedback. Negative feedback, you turn around and go, oh, that video is complete and utter shite. Do this. Oh yeah, I lap that up because that's how I can improve. I just can't do positive feedback. And weirdly enough, it's the same with my son. When he plays sports, if you tell him he's done a good job, but to maybe try and do this a bit differently, he will not react. But if he, like for example, if you tell him that's not good enough, Lucas, you know, you're letting that player beat you here, blah blah blah. You need to work harder. You're not working hard. He'll go out there and he'll prove you wrong. He loves negative feedback and he feeds off it and gets better and better. And I think he gets that from me. And that I don't know how to feel about, because I don't want him getting too much from me, because I'm a broken person and I don't want him to be broken. I want him to be I want him to be functioning as an adult, not like I am. So yeah, he gets that from me. So I'm gonna put this out here to you, because I'm just gonna go grab a coffee because my throat's hurting. So while I go and get a coffee, give me 2 minutes. But put this to you: how do you cope with feedback? Do you like negative feedback, positive feedback, and what effect does it have on you mentally getting that feedback? So while I grab a coffee, answer that in the chat. That'll be great. Or the chat there, is it there? Let's hope it's there. Playing My Little Pony, but you don't have enough ponies.
Yeah. I don't have enough.
Oh, I don't know. You've got to use that one. I don't know, Eve.
I know this is not good.
Can you turn that down a little bit? No. No? There we go. LTTstore.com or something. No, that's Linus. That's the wrong channel. Don't go there. Do go there. He's actually quite good. Also, I noticed my washing's up. That's the professional outfit you get here. I just want to say to all you people, coffee is not good for mental health problems. Yeah, don't say that. I rely on my coffee. It's my one addiction I've got. I need my coffee. I get splitting. Yeah, it shows how much I get splitting headaches without it. Right. Anyway, Steve, feedback. What we got here? Also, just want to point out, am I that bad at this? that my stream viewership grew by 3 viewers while I was out making a coffee. What?
I don't want to know. You just did something for
Edith's here. Yeah, can we turn that down then? You got to turn it down if you want to watch. Okay, you go over there. So anyway, viewership grew by 3 numbers while I was away from the stream. Brilliant. Edith now wants her lunch, but washing's out. I had to make a coffee, and yeah, that's the life of a parent who streams. I'm going to work through this here.
We can overcome this with the power of friendship.
Feedback is Steve. Feedback's fine for me. You can work on criticism and feedback, so positive or negative, fine as long as it's constructive. The worst thing is no. Yeah.
Please.
What?
I really want lunch.
Yeah, I'll do you some lunch in a minute. Do you want a bag of crisps or something? I'll get you something to eat. Hang on. Right, jump those viewers up. I'm disappearing again.
Blue.
I don't think we've got any blue.
I want blue.
But I don't think we've got blue.
Blue.
I don't think we've got blue.
Blue.
Tell you what we have got. Strawberry laces.
I hate strawberry.
I thought you liked them.
No.
Who likes them? Who likes them? What?
Mom.
My mum doesn't like them.
You think she does?
Please, you don't like them? No?
I really want this here, no? This here, no? But this.
What?
This is a blue. Yeah, you have the red. I really want red.
There you go.
So don't annoy me ever again.
Don't annoy you ever again.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Why not little love?
Don't annoy me ever again, Dad. Don't annoy me ever again. Right, sorry, where were we? Yeah, no feedback at all, Steve. Yeah, I'd rather get a negative reaction than no reaction at all. The videos I've had where I get just a couple of views on, I'm like, Jesus, why? Especially when it come after one where I've got a ton of views and I don't know what I've done differently. And always, is it me? Thank you, Gadders. That's Edith. If this is your first time on one of my streams, that's Edith. She's the main reason people tune in the hopes of seeing her, I think. And he's like, yeah. Steve, yeah, no people. You don't know what direction to go. Do you carry on as you are, or because you've had no feedback, do you change it because you've had no feedback? I think you often see, I think comedians say, I think they like getting heckled because it means they're creating a reaction. Filmmakers like it when a film gets totally slated over just, yeah, it was alright. Excellent, thank you for joining. Don't tell me Moose Grinder saying you're going to have to start paying him as an agent or something. But no, thank you for joining us. Thank you. Yeah, no, definitely. It's a limbo state when you don't get any feedback. But I say, because of the way I mentioned it, I struggle with the positive over the negative. So, Treble, I have not watched the ADHD vid yet, but I will later. I will say that there's very little content you come out with that's repetitive or empty. I normally only trim stuff for time rather than because it's poor. Thank you for saying that. I wouldn't say that I'm not repetitive, but that I know I'm repetitive because I will repeat the same point over and over and over and over sometimes because that's just how my brain works, which will make sense when you watch that video, by the way. When you watch that video, that will make sense. Especially as in that And it only really struck me afterwards that I was talking about how my brain works, and I focused on that first bit. I focused to be normal, and to get the idea out of what a normal brain goes like when it's doing something, and then done mine. And then I tried to do just a standard outro, and then that's when my brain kicked into gear. I was like, oh no, what? There's that. So yeah. Gathers drink too much coffee, cause of sweat. Yeah, I was addicted, but now I'm drinking fresh juice instead, and it's great. Yeah, I know coffee's not good for you, especially the amount I drink. I need it to sleep, which is a disturbing thing. I've convinced myself I need coffee to sleep at night. It wakes me up in the morning, it helps you sleep at night. It's one of the reasons, actually, coffee is, this is going off on a tangent, isn't it? Based on feedback, but coffee's one of the reasons I've never touched a recreational drug. Because I know I'm an addict. I get addicted to anything I try. So I know I'm an addict. So I think if I did touch any kind of recreational drug, that would be me down a path I don't want to go down. Actually, it's a subject I might talk about another time, actually, being an addict but knowing it before you've got the addiction. It's a weird thing. I think I will. I'll talk about that one another time. In fact, I'm just going to make my note on that. I'm not professional. So, yeah, Blue Crisps, Kryptonian, yeah. She had red in the end. Right, so Moose Rider, trying to crack the code to get into a broader audience seems to be down to two things: persistence and luck. Yeah. I don't get it. I really don't. Some things we've got lucky with and we've got it going. I've got, when I get sort of maybe 10 viewers on here, I'm really happy with that at the moment, but I know that I need to take the next step at the same time. And I know I've got to stream for longer. I do like hour-long streams on the whole because too much is going on at the moment. I'm trying to get ready to move this time next year, which obviously seems like a long time away, but anyone who's prepared to move home knows that's not long at all. I coach football on a Tuesday. Lucas has ice hockey on a Wednesday and a Friday. And I don't just want to. We've only got the one room. So I don't want to be having to tell Lorraine, no, can you sit there and be quiet and read a book whilst I stream for 4 or 5 hours because that's what I need to do. Not yet. And she said, I don't mind if you want to do it, you can do it, but I feel guilty doing that. And I've still not worked out how to stream for that long and not talk. Because, as some of you may have guessed about me, or anyone new, I talk and I talk and I talk. I don't do dead air. I just don't do dead air. It's one of the reasons I have coffee as well, because that's where I get to stop and think for a second. Anyway, we are, this will change down the line. I will stream for longer. I know I've got to stream for longer. I'm going to try pushing to like maybe 2 hour streams a week. And then this I like to do just whatever it comes at. I hate people playing and not talking on Twitch. Yeah, no, I don't mind to a degree. I think there's got to be a balance. I don't think anyone can feasibly talk the amount I talk for 3 to 4 hours. Half the battle streaming is being engaging. Yeah. Yeah. I don't let people get a word in edgeways, which don't help. prefer streams where they talk 70% of the time. Yeah, I'll try. I've got to get that balance right. I mean, I want to stream Art of Variety. I want to do a bit on that, but there's no way I can talk while I'm playing that game because my concentration is so focused. I can't talk while playing it. Other games like Star Renegade, I didn't get to do that on Wednesday for various reasons. So part 2 of that will be next Wednesday. But I need to talk through that because I need help with that game. This is a game that's well out of my wheelhouse, and I can't play that. I couldn't play that on my own properly. I'd lose too badly, so I need help. So if you're watching this, join me next Wednesday evening, probably about 6:30. Help me play Star Renegades and get better at that game. But yeah, do I talk to? I probably do talk too much. But yeah, as I said, speaking of like streaming feedback, I've tried looking at some of the other streamers trying to do a bit of research, and not so much like your Dr. Disrespects, your PewDiePies, or any of the big name streamers, but the medium streamers. I think if I tried to replicate what the big guys are doing now, I think that's instant failure. You can't do that. So I try looking at those who are in maybe the low thousands is what they're getting on a regular basis, to the upper hundreds. I think that's the good people to look at. And even that's full of reactionary streaming and over the top reactions generally to what they're playing. And I don't get it. Now what I find is a good balance. And please subscribe to her if you can. Can someone pop up Rebecca's and stream on here, a link to her stream, please, if you're not already subscribed to Sad Shadow, who I think does a really good balance. She streams naturally, she talks naturally, she does have reactions to the horror games she's playing, but I don't think they're over the top, and she's someone really pleasant to watch. So there's that. Daughter's watching someone called Jelly and also someone called Cookie, and they're fine. They're very screamy and over the top, and that's not me. I can't do that. But yeah, so I'm trying to get that balance. I mean, it's still tough for me to do this. I still do this going into it thinking I'm a failure. I've got this idea of why do people want to watch me? I'm boring. I've got no personality. I sound. I don't know how I sound. I just don't like how I sound. I know no one does, but you know, I've spoken about before how I find it crippling. So this is all still me pushing through, which is really weird because I love podcasting. I love hosting a podcast. I've done that for best part of a decade now, which that time has really flown. But yeah, I just got to be me, and if 8 people want to watch it, there we go. Stu put that in. Do check her out. But it is the weird thing, Steve. Right? You say like no one likes her. I get that. I think there's some accents that are cut out for talking and are just totally engaging. So I think northern accents. I love a northern accent. I could listen to like when you spoke. There's an authority about you. And I love listening to you talk about stuff. I'll quite happily shut up and let you talk. Same with Stu. He's softer spoken than I am. I need to learn to put it down an octave or two at times. And same with like Andrew as well. He had when we done stuff with him, he had a really good voice. I've just not got the voice. But Sheffield, the Yorkshire accent is absolutely superb. The Scouse accent is a great one. The old Scouse accent, by the way, there's a difference between old Scouse and new Scouse, and I love the old Scouse accent. And I think that comes across really well on stream. So favourite accent is the Northern Irish, the Belfast accent. Talking of which, I've got to get that interview up with my old podcast partner from the Backs Across the Pond days. But Aaron, his accent, oh my god, I melt to that. If I didn't already describe myself as non-binary or even pansexual, he would turn me. That accent on that guy is just wow. I love it. Absolutely melts me. So yeah, that's feedback. That went into places, but hey, that's how my brain works. So just the final thing actually before we get on to the final thing, I'm gonna pop this up there. Today is special effects one special day, I think it's called. So I'm just gonna add this in. Gonna pop this in. Just give me a second.
Let's share.
So yeah.
Oh, what are you reading?
There we go. That should go there. So listen, today is one special. I'll just double check what it is actually called. I want to make sure I get this right. So I put down their Twitter account, but I forgot to put down what the day's called. One special day. So basically, it's a whole bunch of streams raising money for special effects. And what they do, they basically make it possible for people with disabilities to be able to play video games and to enjoy it. What they do is absolutely magical. There's a whole bunch of streamers that are doing things today for it. I've not done it, and it's not because I don't want to. I'm not going to get the numbers to make it worthwhile to do. So maybe this time next year will be something I can join in with. But if you get time today, check out their Twitter, check out the links to other streamers. If you want to donate to them, please do donate to them. What they do is absolutely fantastic. I'll leave that link there for the remaining few minutes of the stream, but do check them out. After this, don't go now. After this. So the final thing I want to talk about is how do you get through your low moments? And before I go talking, I'm going to ask this question. You know, I want your thoughts on this, guys, as well. People, friends. I'm going to say friends. I've got to stop using pronouns. I don't want to use pronouns as much. I think pronouns need to go on the whole. But it's just friends. I'm going to call you friends. Want your opinion on this? When you have really low days, even weeks, what are your techniques for pushing through that to try and overcome it? And has that changed in the past? Have you needed anything external to help you? Have you let anyone know so they can help push you through it? What are your experiences? So with me, it used to be, if I got into a low day, even not even a low week, I'd have a low day. It caused me to spiral, and that lowness, I'd be snappy at everybody. I'd not want to see anybody else. I'd not want to get involved with things. I don't even want to play this game, and I'd just go spiral. And I didn't get out of it. It just ended up just being that it would just go on, and that had been you me for ages. And then gradually I might come back up over a number of days, weeks or months. So I didn't have anything to get out of it. So that was horrid to live with, I think, for my family, that they didn't know how long a mood was going to last. So that's always been tough there. But now I'm working on techniques that really have started helping me. Whether they're successful or not, I don't know. So last week I was down. I really don't know why I was down. But I was looking at myself and I was going, I'm not going to... Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to ignore it. I've tried that. Personally, it doesn't work for me. And I can't sleep when I'm in a bad mood. Or I hate calling it moods because it's not a mood, is it? And that's diminishing it, but that's old talk that's still in there. But one of the things I do now is I look at my children and what are they like? If they're happy, that's a reason to be happy. That's a reason to bring myself back up. If they're not happy, that's a reason to bring myself back up. Because if I'm the root of them not being happy, then that needs to change. I need to change myself to make them happy again. And I look at my partner now, and I look at what reaction am I getting from her. And that will make me snap out of things, or at least make the effort to improve what I'm being like. And that's been a big change for me, because I never used to really react to people and their feelings. It was me. It was all about me. I'm feeling bad, so everyone else should feel bad. And it's selfish to think like that. I know that's not how I wanted to think, and I know that's not how I planned to be. But it's just the way my brain would tick over. I'm feeling shit, so everyone else should feel shit. And I'll come to something in a sec, actually, that's born from that, and I've got to try and overcome, and it's really difficult to overcome. But yeah, I've done this, like, I need to react to other people. I don't care about the wider world. I don't care sort of like what people we see down the rink or at the football think of me, if I'm in a bad mood or a good mood or whatever. I've stopped caring what those people think, because they're the people I used to care about, and it's ridiculous. Now I care about what the people immediately close to me, so my kids and my partner. That's it. How am I affecting them, and what can I do to do that? And that's really started helping me get out of low feelings. So it's last week I was couldn't get motivated. I forgot to take tablets as well for my meds and all things like that, so I just couldn't get motivated, and that was fine for a little bit. And then I saw like that meant I wasn't sort of like enjoying stuff. It's like the kids wanted to do something, like, I can't be bothered, and yeah, I'm trying to make excuses and all things like that. But then I saw that they was like, oh no, like they was getting in argumentative with each other, and I saw that, well, that's me that's caused that. So I forced myself into doing things now. So to give you an example, it was busy Monday, busy Wednesday, and I couldn't do my streams. A part of me was going, is it worth doing this stream today? Should I just leave the week out? I thought, no. Let's go ahead. Let's do it. Plenty's happened I want to talk about, so let's go ahead and do it. And to be honest, I'm glad I have done. So I'm glad I've done it today. But yeah, so I'm trying to find loads of little techniques that I've got to bring myself out of these low ebbs. So don't mind me, I did say I was going to talk about something in a sec, and I forgot what it was. What was I talking about? Like I say, I'll touch on that in a second. Please help me.
Oh no, there's no soda.
Oh, I'm trying to think what it was now.
What's going on?
I've got to stop doing that.
Oh, I have an idea. Wait.
No, it's gone. Bloody hell. No. So yeah, I've got to take, like, forgetting to take my meds is a big one for me.
Yeah, I am just too smart. I want to buy something else.
Yeah, no, I do. Fastest land mammal is a cheetah. Is this a quiz?
What he buys, I'm gonna find a way. Huh.
Is it the cheetah? It is the cheetah, isn't it? Yeah. Unless it's a trick question. Is it a trick question?
Wanna get an apple? Someone had a bite of this apple. What's going on? Oh no.
Yeah, that's something I'm looking at doing. I don't actually have it on my phone. I've got a digital calendar set up, and it's helping me with chores. Honestly, this is really bad. I've got into a process where because I used to work from home, nothing got done because I was busy. We spoke about I'm not going down the work bit, and I got to a point where I was then not sure how to.
Magical vending machine.
Oh.
Oh no, Yumio's really smart. How am I not going to get caught?
Woo. Good. I was spot on. I still lost it. I've got about a million different things trying to blur it out.
Lemon juice.
Alarms, yeah. So I was working from home and wasn't getting anything done. Then when I stopped all that, I was kind of lazing around, and I was like still not getting jobs done because my process was I didn't get stuff done during the day. I didn't get stuff during the day because I was having to work, and I didn't get as much done in the evening because that's when my work actually came in, and all things like that. So what I've done now is I've got to the point where literally I'm setting myself an Alexa alarm. She didn't start off good. On the Echo that reminds me at like 10 a.m. to wash up and get the dry laundry put away and the wet laundry in the tumble dryer. And then later on I'll tell myself to go around and attempt to clear up the toys and the mess that's made. But what I've done is I've tried treating it like a game as well. So I set the alarms for every day and what those chores are, and I try and beat the alarm so that when the alarm goes at 10 and it goes, this is your reminder to do the washing up, I can turn around and tell her to shut up and go, I've already done that this morning, I win the game, I'm treating myself to another coffee. Or I'm going to play a game. So I do have the alarms, but I haven't got them set rigidly yet. I know some people on the ADHD side of things have them set really rigidly, which is literally their alarm to wake them up. They have their alarm to have their breakfast, their alarm to get showered, their alarm to clean up, their alarm to start doing this activity, their alarm to stop that activity, an alarm to start the next activity. And they do that. I can't do that. Weirdly, as much as I like structure, I can't be told you have this, you've got a 10-minute time frame in which to enjoy yourself. I can't do that. I've tried, couldn't do that one. But yeah, setting alarms that I try and beat. They're not alarms that say you must do this now. They're alarms as reminders. Yeah, alarms more as reminders. So if I've taken Edith to school and I get back and I've then decided to lay down for a nap or whatever, just don't judge me. I like a nap. I've come down, I'm going to watch something or listen to something for half hour. I then completely lose track, and that's when I'll forget to do the washing up if it hasn't already been done. So the alarm goes off, oh crap, I better get up and do the washing up. But as I said, I like to, if I'm up early enough, I've managed to get in the shower quick enough and out, everyone dressed, then I'll go, right, get the washing up done now before we go, and then I can relax when I get back. Just it's little things. But actually, they help me get out of my slump as well, because now whereas I used to have a bad day and I'd just go, I'm just laying on the sofa, I'm putting a cover on, I'm laying on the sofa, I just don't care. And then I'll stick my laptop and I'll just work from the side and I'll make excuses or whatever. I'll just lay there and sleep the day away. Now though, it has got to the point where having these little tasks and doing the chores has helped me get through. It's like, even if I'm feeling bad, like, I've got to get this, I've said I'll get this done, I've said I'll get the washing put away. If I don't want Lorraine to come back from work and to get annoyed or in a bad mood because it's not been done after she's been at work all day. Let's get right. I was never sort of like a slob or lazy or done nothing, but it'd be sort of like a rush job or something like that, or done later in the day, or oh no, sorry, I forgot to do it. You know, I'll do it. I'll leave it. I'll do it now. It's just wasn't a way to go, and we've got the motivation now with the move of stuff we've got to get done. So, you know, we're keeping on top, and we're going to get major things done. Keep on top of it, and that's going to be part of our daily. Sorry for whatever she's watching, by the way. lttstore.com. So yeah, that's loads of little things that I'm doing now to help myself that I wasn't doing before. I've tried doing I take it you're all aware, and I know it's one that works. You're all aware of the first thing you should do is make your bed in the morning because you've achieved something. Yeah, I assume everyone's aware of that. I can't do that because I tried doing that, but what I was doing, I'd make the bed and it'd be done. I'll go, oh look, well done, you've achieved something. And I'd do it as like a sarcastic way of like going, well done, Brad, aren't you good? You managed to make a bed. Whoop-de-doo. Your life's still shit. So I kind of stopped doing that because it was making me worse. I was like, I've not achieved anything apart from realising that, wow, all I can do is make a bed. I'm with you, Steve. I'm with you on that one. Luckily, Lo isn't that, but the people who like they make their bed every day and they put the cushions on and the teddy bears all lined up and then they have to take them all out. I just want to get into bed. But I did make that excuse a couple of times on it, and it's then I'd be a hypocrite when like my son would leave his shoes in the hallway or out of the cupboard. I go, mate, you've got to put your shoes away. He went, why? There's no point. I could be wearing them later. I was like, just do as I say. So yeah, but yeah, little tasks. I suppose it is another one of the cliched one to do, but it works. That's the one that works. It's just setting yourself little goals, little tasks. So what I have is little daily tasks, which are basically chore-based. I have weekly tasks, which is I want this done by the end of the week, or I want to have done this. So, for example, the other week is I wanted to make sure I had enough videos recorded to cover the following week because I knew I had a busy week. So I made sure I got ahead and I completed that task, and that was my week-long task. This week was along the lines of just getting a few different things sorted, you know, really make sure we got onto Bright House to get that stuff all sorted, and to make sure I got into streaming at the end of the week because I knew a couple of them wasn't going to do, and I've done that. And then we've got our long-term goals, and the one is by next September we want to be living in Liverpool. That's the long-term goal. So part of that was the end of the month goal we had was to make sure we set up a savings account. We was going to do a joint savings account. And it's really weird. We didn't bother with a joint savings account. We looked at it logically, and I just went, well, if you're gonna leave me and run off with whatever money we saved, then so be it. It's gonna happen. Hi SpareX, thank you for joining. You've unfortunately joined us right at the end. But no, thank you for joining us. But this will go up on YouTube later as well. But anyway, yeah. So we set up the account for. That's all right. There'll definitely be another one. So we set up the account. Then we're still here. Speak to us, buddy. Speak to us. I say if you need to talk, then I'm not going anywhere. But why wait for obviously SpareX? If he wants to say anything, then there we go. So just on the little goal thing, that's working for me. Brilliant. That's a great way to help. I think bring yourself up. Anxiety and depression, all new for me, been off work for 4 weeks. Has anything triggered that, Spare X, or was it just appeared? To give us an idea. Fair enough. While we're doing this, actually, Stu, if you're still watching, can you get the invite link to the Discord as well? Because that would be great for longer chats with SpareX if he needs it. So we're all on there, and people will happily listen to you there as well. Build up a stress, I think. Have had anxiety in the past. Yeah, it's very tough to tell someone how to deal with anxiety and depression, because there's no one right answer to any of it. So what's been building up the stress? Is it work-based, family-based, or social-based? Work is super stressful in that I have a lot of responsibility. My life is stressful, but no more than usual. Yeah, so is it a fact of do you generally like having the responsibility, or is it the responsibility that's making it stressful for you? And have you got anyone above you that you can speak to about how you're feeling? Good, you like. So what I would suggest, and this worked for someone we've got on our Discord. I won't mention names as yet because it's not fit, because he's not here to say whether it's okay for me to speak in details. But he went to his superiors at work and spoke about the issues he was having, and they was really welcoming to it and were willing to help him through whatever he needed. So if there's work that's causing stress, or have you got anyone above you can sit down and speak to? Because I think you would be surprised that if you are open about it, they can help give you the tools you need. Good, I don't just mean sick pay though, because just letting you go off work, that helps for a bit, but you've got to think longer term as well when you go back. Because if it's something at work that is causing a major stress and you just go back into it, you're just going to end up in a cycle. So, and again, this is one of the hardest things to do, and it's one of those that's very easy to say to somebody. Yeah, right, so listen, it's very easy to say to somebody, you've got to maybe go and speak to someone. Trust me, I've been there. Trying to be honest with someone about work, there's always those worries. But without knowing exactly what your job is at the moment, if you can't focus or concentrate, then you do need to speak to somebody and see what you can get help with. That's a good start. What medication have you been put on, if you don't mind me asking? Is it specifically for anxiety, or is it more aimed towards the depression side? Certainly, yeah, that's what I'm on. Enjoy the dreams that come with that. By the way, they're not necessarily bad dreams. They're just wow. They make David Lynch look sane. The dreams you'll get from that. Yeah. So honestly, buddy, let me get you a link. Tell you what, let me get you a link where you can probably be a bit more. let me get this link for you.
Super stylish.
So if you're not already, join us there. Okay, I've just put the link on for you there. Join us there, and then you can speak about it. We've got various channels on the balls, and you can speak to us about it there in more detail. And rather than me just reacting to what we're getting and trying to do it publicly, you'll get better input there. So please do join. But what's really good to see here is that you're not just ignoring it. You're not just going, oh, I'll try and get through it in my own way. So work have offered you your time off. That's really good. You're already seeing a doctor, and is that all they've done? Is that all they're doing in from the doctors? Is to the medication side? I know you said you started therapy, but was that through the doctors, or have you done that separately?
Swipe each box across the screen, but watch out for the frog. When all the outfits are complete, the friends can go to the ball.
Yeah. So I don't ever want to say ignore, don't bother with the doctor, because it's still an important inroad to get what you can. So it's good that again you sorted your therapy separately, and you've got something you can go to. So what do? Do you see someone on a weekly basis, I assume? That's fine. To be honest, over the phone therapy can be just as helpful, because if you can't see the person you're speaking to, you can actually be a lot more open. Or if you know they're not judging what you're looking like or anything like that, you can just be a lot more open. Yeah. This is why one of the reasons I started our Discord, because what you can do there, we've got, let's say, various channels. One is literally just a void for you to shout into. If you want to go in there and just scream about something, you can. If you want to ask specific advice, there's a channel for that, or just something in general, there's a channel for that. What we do encourage across all of this is being open, because one of the things with depression especially is we hide it, and we've spent too long hiding any mental health issues we've had. So the best thing you can do is share, because once you can start sharing, Stu will back me up on this if he's still watching. Being able, when someone says, hey, Sparex, how you doing? You can turn around and go, actually, I'm not great. And you don't have to say, yeah, I'm not great in terms of please help me. But the worst, the one thing I always hate is when someone goes, hey, how you doing? And you go, yeah, I'm good. In that kind of, I'm not, but I'll say I'm good, because that's what they want to hear. That's when it all starts to go. And yeah, you've got to be open with it. And this is I mean, the fact you're able to come onto here and mention it is really good. It shows you are in a good place in terms of wanting to do something about it. It's always worse when you're trying to hide it or trying not to talk about it. You don't want to help. You don't want to bring others down, or you don't want others to feel sorry for you, and you go through that side of things. So really good that you're open about it. You want to do something about it. Now, obviously, I'm not a trained therapist myself. So obviously, everything I say is just from personal experience, rather than, hey, take this advice and do with it. Yeah, so when you say your family, have you got kids?
The city of love and lights, so for sure she hates it in the dark.
Yeah, well, so obviously what I found,
Jack the Jaguar.
Slightly, I suppose, similar age range to mine. I've got my daughter's 3 and my son's 13. And so they will be aware. This is one thing I've found. They will be aware, but they won't understand. So, yeah, you being open with it, I assume you're open with it, about it with your partner as well. She's aware that you're suffering. Which, if that is, yeah, good, that's good. So you get that help, and that's important that she's aware. Because what you don't want at the same time is your partner just always to be making sure everyone's on eggshells around you. This is going to sound quite brutal to a degree, but the worst thing you can have is people being on eggshells around you. Your partner telling the kids, look, just let's be quiet because daddy's in a bad mood or anything like that, so don't do the things you enjoy. What you do need with that sometimes, and this is what my partner does to me, is look, if this carries on like this, it's not acceptable. You have got to look, I know you're not good, I know you're not in a good place, but for the sake of this, you've got to try and get over this. You need those harsh realities at times, which I think only your family can give you. And I don't mean, I'll never encourage just cheer up, because that's not what that is. But you do need sometimes stop being an arsehole, because that's what my partner does to me. I'll have a day where I've just been such a bad mood. I've just whatever to everything. She'll turn around to me and go, look, Brad, stop being an arse. Get yourself sorted, get your head right. If you've got to go out for a bit, go out for a bit, get your head right. It's not fair on the kids, especially. Which is different to you've got depression. If you try just cheering up, it gives you that boot that you need sometimes. Yeah, and that's a really, really good way to approach it. But I do make it clear to them as well, though, that they should never stop being who they are being or what they enjoy doing. Again, I'm not saying that's what you do, and I'm not saying that's easy to do or easy to convey at the same time. But it sounds like what's really good. You say you're struggling, but you sounds like you've got a grip on it to a degree. Yeah, same here. I'm quite open about it with my son and my daughter. My daughter, obviously, she doesn't understand at all. She's only 3. Either that or she does understand and she's tormenting me. One of the two. But it sounds like, again, you've got a grip on things. And the fact you're willing to talk about it is really good. So, look, I'm running out of time. I sound like a therapist. I'm running out of time. You can pay your bill on your way out. Because I've got appointments I need to get to, unfortunately. So please listen. I'm glad. No, that's fine. I'm glad you've come here. Please join the Discord. Speak there. There's people who will give you different views. People who will know better and be able to convey things better than I can at the moment. Excellent. Good to know. Brilliant. And thank you for sharing. For me, it helps me knowing that I'm not alone in this as well. I think that's the toughest thing with depression and all mental health issues, is you think you're alone, and your brain tells you you're the only one. You're the weird one. You're the oddity in the world, and you're not. You're not, and it's good to know that. It helps me, and I hope it helps others as well. So, as we go, as I'm just going to sign off now. As I said, it's one special day, and where are we? There. Twitter.com special effect. Check them out. Check out some of the other streams. If you've got some money and you want to donate to that cause. It's brilliant. When do I stream next? So mental health streams, Spare X, are every Friday. About this sort of time. Usually start between 11 and 12. That's mental health streams. Mondays I do indie games. Wednesdays I do a specific game, and then I will try and do the odd other stream, which will be whatever I decide to do at the time. You can check out our YouTube video, YouTube, and you'll see stuff on there, highlights from previous streams and other videos and stuff we do. So please do check that out. So yeah, check out Special Effect if you get a chance. If you've got Twitch Prime, don't forget you do get a free subscription per month. Please feel free to use it on us. That'd be really good. Again, no pressure. That starts again from tomorrow, I think. So you can resub from tomorrow. Yeah, no, thank you for joining me. As you see above, you can catch us on any of these. Check us out there. The Patreon, we've got in the exclusive podcasts going now. They're all just pop culture based, nothing to do with mental health on there, because as I said, I don't believe we should be gating off mental health chat, so that will never happen. And again, thank you everyone for joining. It's been a pleasure, and until I speak to you next time, stay safe. Take care. Bye bye.